Let's begin with congenital anomalies and cystic fibrosis. First things first, when a baby is born with a defect, it's not always a genetic mutation. For your viva, you need to master these four terms, the mechanisms of error. Malformation. This is an intrinsic error. The blueprint was wrong from the very start. Think, bad plants equal a bad build. Disruption. Here everything was going fine and then something destroyed it. It's a destructive error. Deformation. This is due to an extrinsic force. Imagine an external force is squishing the fetus because there isn't enough space to grow. Sequence. The domino effect. One primary event triggers a chain reaction. It's all connected. Let's dive a bit deeper to make sure you have this clear. Malformation. As I said, the plan was flawed. The classic example here is cleft lip. Disruption. This is secondary destruction. A classic example is amniotic bands, the fibrous bands that can amputate a limb that was otherwise forming perfectly. Deformation. Physical crowding. Think of clubfoot caused by the uterus being too crowded. The key takeaway here is malformations are genetic or embryological errors. Deformations and disruptions are mechanical errors. Now let's look at the sequence. Think of it as one domino falls, knocking down the others. For your exams, don't memorize the list of symptoms. Instead, memorize the first domino. If you know the first event, you can deduce the rest. Let's apply that to the most famous example, the Potter sequence. The first domino here is renal agenesis. The baby has no kidneys. No kidneys means no urine is produced. Since fetal urine makes up amniotic fluid, this leads to oligohydramnios or low amniotic fluid. Without that cushion of fluid, the fetus gets compressed. This leads to pulmonary hypoplasia, lungs don't develop, and a flat face. Think of a fish in a leaking bag. If the bag leaks, the water is gone and the fish gets squished. Alright, shifting gears to the heavy hitter, cystic fibrosis. I call this the multi-system wrecking ball. It is the most common lethal genetic disease in white populations. It's an autosomal recessive disorder that affects exocrine glands across the entire body. Look at the diagram. It hits the liver, lungs, pancreas, and reproductive organs. Here's the cheat code for the genetics. You need to know this spot. It's on chromosome 7. Cystic fibrosis equals chromosome 7. The gene is CFTR. The most common mutation is F508 deletion. This is a deletion of phenylalanine at position 508. Fundamentally, this is a protein folding defect. The misfolded protein is identified by chaperones and degraded before it ever reaches the cell membrane. Let's visualize the pathogenesis. Think of the chlorine door. In normal conditions, the door opens and chloride exits the cell smoothly. In cystic fibrosis, the door is jammed or missing. Result? Chloride is trapped inside the cell. Look at the diagram. All those green chloride ions are stuck inside. So what happens next? The trap. Chloride is trapped inside. Attraction. Sodium rushes in to be with the chloride. Osmosis. Water follows the sodium into the cell. The outcome is extracellular space loses its water. We are effectively turning water into glue. You get dehydrated, thick, gooey sludge that blocks everything. Now let's see what the glue does to the organs. First, the lungs. The airway gets stretched and jammed because the mucus can't clear. This leads to bronchiectasis. Thick mucus is a playground for bacteria. You get recurrent infections with Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Staph aureus, and Burkholderia cepacia. Next are the pancreas and intestines. In pancreas, the ducts get plugged. The enzymes can't get out, so they start to digest the pancreas itself. Consequence is malabsorption, specifically deficiencies in vitamins A, D, E, and K, and steatorrhea, which is bulky, greasy stools. Intestine. In newborns, the first stool or meconium is too thick. This causes an obstruction known as meconium ileus. Moving on to the liver and reproductive system. In liver, the bile ducts get plugged with mucus, leading to biliary cirrhosis. Reproductive. This is crucial. The vas deferens is often absent or blocked. It results in azoospermia. This causes infertility in 95% of males with cystic fibrosis. Now pay attention to the exception, the skin. Here the mechanism is flipped. The sweat ducts are unable to reabsorb chloride. It results in salty sweat. The clinical sign here is the maternal kiss sign. Mothers will say, "My baby tastes salty when I kiss him." So how do we confirm it? We use the diagnostic cheat code, the sweat chloride test. A result of high chloride in sweat, more than 60 milliequivalents per liter, is diagnostic. Remember, this is a protein folding defect. The cellular chaperones spot the error and trash the protein. Let's wrap up with my high yield summary table. Screenshot this. In lungs, thick mucus causes bronchiectasis and infections, like Pseudomonas. In pancreas, plugged ducts lead to malabsorption and vitamin A, D, E, K deficiency. In intestine, thick stool cause meconium ileus. In liver, plugged bile ducts cause biliary cirrhosis. In reproductive system, there is absent vas deferens causing infertility, and in the skin, failed reabsorption causes salty sweat, which is diagnostic. That's it. You have now conquered congenital anomalies and cystic fibrosis.